Yo, what up?
你要见还是我
Yo, what up?
你要见还是我
It's Razor Pop lah.
Comic book movies, thrill or trash? Recently, there has been a spate of comic book movies at the cinema, but not all have fared well. Watchmen was adored by fanboys and critics, but performed modestly at the box office. Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li was universally reviled, even though it featured Singapore's very own Edmund Chen. Meanwhile, Dragon Ball Evolution was accused of not being Asian enough. Indeed, when it comes to adapting Asian comics, it seems no one does it better than the Asians themselves. Death Note, Old Boy, and Ichi the Killer are some examples. Whatever the controversy, there are more than 50 comic book adaptations planned for the next few years, including Tintin, Wonder Woman, and Justice League. We tell you what to watch out for.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Razor Pop.
Hey, I'm Helmi.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're going to tell you about some really exciting comic book movies coming our way. But before we do that, Brian,
Yes,
what do you
Helmi?
think of Dragon Ball
Dragon
Evolution?
Ball Evolution. You know what? I have to be honest. I watched the film, but I'm not a big fan of the comic books. Like it was in my primary school. You guys were reading beside me, and I sort of read through it. And I know for a fact that Goku is actually an alien, and actually the setting of the comic book is not set on Earth, right? And they're from this alien race called the Saiyans, and the Saiyans are like this warrior-like people. And
That's right.
When I watched the movie, with that little history going into the movie, I was just like,
Yeah, exactly.
why is this an American... It's
Goku
not even
is-
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, it's not even Dragon Ball. There were a lot of the so-called Asian characters are now white.
Yeah, Chow Yun-Fat in the comic book, he's actually a turtle, if I'm not mistaken. And he's just this dude, this Chico Peg wearing a Hawaiian t-shirt. I mean, the Chico Peg part was actually, it mirrors his comic book character, which is more like a, not so much a ladies' man, but a perv, basically.
Yeah. The impression that I get is that Hollywood doesn't respect the mythology of some Asian comic books, the way they respect their own, the way they put so much, effort into Superman, Spider-Man, Batman. They don't have the same respect for Dragon Ball or Power Rangers or, Asian franchises, which is why Dragon Ball turned out as badly as it did.
But don't you think the director actually sort of... the director is Asian, right?
Yeah, he is, but he is... I think he's Asian American because he started out in X-Files, and he did some really good X-Files episodes. I love some of the ones that he directed were among my favorites. And then he went on to do Final Destination, which was not bad.
It was not bad. The first one was not bad.
Yeah. For a teenage franchise, it's alright. And then he went on to do The One with Jet Li. And that was
hit
and now this was just really, really terrible. Cheesy action, cheesy dialogue, cheesy everything.
Cheesy action, the CG wasn't really that good. I mean, leading up to the movie, he was saying, the director was saying that, oh no, we had the best special effects, blah 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 blah. And you went to see the movie, the Kamehameha is this, like when they use the key power to focus their fireball. It made me laugh, It just like when he's and this is like the climax of the movie when he finds himself and he harnesses the key power, he's shooting fireballs left, right, and center, and you're just like, what? You just want to laugh.
On the other hand, when you look at Watchmen, it's a lot more respectful, the franchise. In fact, it was sometimes too respectful, making it a little bit too talky and less action.
Almost alienating a lot of...
mainstream audiences, which is why it didn't do well at the box office. But okay, anyway, we're going to talk some more about it. But for now, we're going to show you some of the very exciting comic book adaptations that are coming your way in the next 3 years.
All the horrible things.
First stop, X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Set to open at the end of next month, Hugh Jackman reprises his role as the wolf-like mutant with regenerative powers. The film takes us back to his violent childhood and youthful romance, before he becomes a subject in the Weapon X program, which turns him into a living weapon. Also starring are Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, Liv Schreiber as Sabretooth, and Danny Houston as Willem Stryker. The trailer alone has fanboys drooling. After all, the first two X-Men movies, directed by Bryan Singer, were critical and commercial successes. And this is only the first X-Men origin film. Two more origin films are being planned, one on Magneto and the other on the Teenage Mutants enrolled in the X-Men school.
Embrace the other side.
I think he heard you.
Don't worry, we'll stop him.
I just spent $500 million making him indestructible. I know who you are, Gambit. I'm coming for blood. No code of conduct. No law.
One adaptation that we're personally looking forward to, though it's not to everyone's taste, is Scott Pilgrim vs. the Rest of the World. The sharp and funny graphic novels center on a wannabe rock star who must defeat his new girlfriend's 7 evil ex-boyfriends in order to win her heart. The source material is terrific, and the director they found for the project is Edgar Wright, famous for the hilarious Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, so we think this is gonna be a hit. Well, at least among smart people. In 1988, Japan stunned the world with the violent and futuristic anime Akira, adapted from a popular manga. Translated into English, Spanish, and other languages, it quickly became a cult classic among comic book lovers and gamers alike, and set a new standard for cartoons. Well, now Hollywood is planning the live-action version of Akira, which is set to be released in 2011.
Maar waarom? Wat willen ze met een scheepsmodel? Anita, help!
It has already begun.
Het is niet te geloven, Bobby. Dit schip is precies hetzelfde als het schip dat me ontfutseld werd.
Remember Tintin, his dog Snowy, and how hard it was to borrow the library copies because it was always loaned out. The perennially popular detective series is coming to the big screen in 2011. The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn is directed by Steven Spielberg, but it will still be in cartoon format, not the live-action version. Jamie Bell of Billy Elliot fame provides the voice of Tintin with Daniel Craig as Red Rackham. Remember her? Missed her? Well, so do we. But we'll have to wait 2 more years before Wonder Woman can fly onto our screens. Producer Joel Silver spent many years trying to get the movie version off the ground, failing again and again. But it looks as if Wonder Woman is finally back on track to getting her own movie. No word yet on who will play the Amazonian princess, but we're rooting for Angelina Jolie.
Falcon, and he's working for the Nazis.
Yes, I am.
Where is the Falcon? You know he's very dangerous. You must tell me, please. Where is the Falcon?
Wonder Woman will also be joining her friends Superman, Batman, Aquaman, The Flash, and Green Lantern in a live-action version of Justice League Mortal, also due out in 2011 or 2012. No news yet on who will direct the film, but producers are rumored to be looking for fresh faces, instead of asking Christian Bale to play Batman or Brandon Routh to play Superman. Fresh faces. Untested, but we'll see. Meanwhile, not to be outdone, a movie version of The Avengers is also scheduled to reach screens in 2012. Following the huge success of Marvel Comics' Iron Man, the Avengers movie will see Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, and other superheroes in the Marvel stable join forces to save the world. The director rumored to be taking the reins is Jon Favreau, who directed Iron Man, so we're really psyched for this one. Another comic book adaptation currently in the works is Captain America, the First Avenger. Captain America is scheduled to be released in 2011, and the director chosen for the project is Joe Johnston, who helmed Jurassic Park 3, Jumanji, and The Rocketeer. Screenwriter Christopher Marcus, who successfully adapted the Chronicles of Narnia, is still refining the screenplay. And although there are no stars yet named for the project, we're confident this one will be a hit. One potentially exciting adaptation is Thor, the Norse god of thunder who wields his powers with a mythical hammer. The movie version will be directed by, surprise surprise, Kenneth Branagh. Yes, the very British, very Shakespearean Kenneth Branagh. No offense, Ken, but we're not entirely sure if you're the right man for the job. In fact, if this one screws up, we can't say we're surprised. With many more comic book adaptations like Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Judge Dredd, as well as sequels Spider-Man 4, Iron Man 2, and Sin City 2 coming up, we'll be talking about this for a long time.